From the dungeons of Morningstar, I'm Stretch.
And I'm Clint, and this is Prevailing Strange.
Yeah, this week we're going to take it a little bit different again.
Mate, evolution takes many traits.
We'll get there. Only because we've got to record a little bit earlier than normal.
Yeah. So there might be a little bit of things that we haven't seen this week or that have not come up, but
That's right.
some epic shit has come up since our last showing.
We'll give the week in review a miss because we haven't watched anything.
I have.
Any TV.
Yeah. Reacher finale aired on Friday night.
All right.
Dude. I'm telling you, put the cowl on the dude and cast that other fella, the giant, as Bane. It has to be done. It's only common sense. If you don't, you're missing it. You're missing out.
Does he have the star power to take on the Caped Crusader?
Alan Richardson? Dude, absolutely. Like, you watch him as Hawkman, or as Hawk, in Titans.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. He's only been a TV actor so far, hasn't he?
Dude, in Reacher, like, you've got to sell you, watch the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I have. I've seen it. It's fantastic.
Dude,
Actually, there we go. There's a movie.
See, again, he killed it. He ate every scene he was in. He stole the scenery from everybody. Give it to him. Just give it to him. He said he would do it for free.
Oh, he's actually
He wants it, dude. He wants it bad. He will literally do it for free.
Wow.
He's said that to heaps of people. He's even said it to James Gunn. I will do it for free.
It's a big call.
Dude, and the bloke who plays, I've been watching, I forget his name, but the guy who plays Paulie in the last season. He's 7'2". He's actually a giant, all in proportion. And his character on Reacher season 3, just domineering, like he smacks the shit out of Reacher in this one scene. Reacher gives him everything he's got and punches him square in the gut. Old just laughs and just smacks the bricks off this kid straight to the ground.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, I've been watching his YouTube channel, and one of the nicest, most polite, gentle people I've ever seen.
Okay, so what kind of content is he making?
He's going around all the world to meet up with all these strong people, and so he done a little episode I watched last night was with Eddie Hall, the world's strongest man.
Mm-hmm.
He's done one with the world's tallest female bodybuilder, and she's just an Amazon dude. She's incredible. So he's just going around doing all these amazing feats, and it just looks interesting.
Okay.
Between movies and TV shows, but he's finally getting some attention, and it's wholesome to watch.
Yeah, okay.
But you got to watch Reacher. Oh my God, you got to watch Reacher.
I might get there one day.
Have I ever led you down a dark path, a bum steer?
No, but you do not take any of my paths that I offer you.
I do so.
No, you don't.
I do. I just can't watch that Full Metal Alchemist with Logan.
You watch Reacher with Logan?
No, I'll watch that when he goes to sleep. But that's the thing. I've already started Reacher 3 years ago, so I have to finish it.
Well, they're finished now.
It has finished. So, yeah, you might get that. There we go. Before our next episode, I will watch Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay. Are you going to go Brotherhood or?
No, I'm going to watch the one you told me, the OG one, because I haven't read the book, so I don't need to stay true to the book. And I think we've covered that before. I don't mind if they deviate away from source material a little bit.
It was good enough that I came back and watched Brotherhood afterwards to see the differences.
Right. All right. Some things that have popped up through the week, just little bits of news, little caveats of such, but did you get a chance to watch the trailer for
Sinners?
Yes.
I did get to watch it. Yes.
See?
It was not what I was expecting.
No, dude. It flips it, doesn't it?
It does. Because it's set in the Jim Crow era.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, we're going to get a kind of a serious historical piece.
No.
No.
Bitch, there be vampires.
Yeah, it's a supernatural thriller, I guess.
Yeah. very comic book-esque, right down my alley. And Coogler and Michael B. Jordan together, I don't think they make bad movies.
No. So Michael B. Jordan is playing a twin.
Yeah.
You don't see too much of one of them.
You're right.
One obviously seems to be the protagonist of the story. I'm just wondering whether the brother is going to be the antagonist of the story.
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
It would.
Because you only see him a couple of snippets in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were talking about, trailer directors and producers are all kind of artists in themselves.
And that's right. There's one scene where they're set up around a barn. Looks like it's a bit of a hangout, local hangout.
Yep.
And looks like shit's going to go down. There's a whole lot of people outside. I'm wondering whether these are all vampires.
Mm-hmm.
It's that's the thing with trailers, they can misdirect you. Or is it going to be, are we going to get a whole heap of vampires, or is there only going to be one vampire?
Yeah. The visuals of it look really cool. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they've gone, hang on, let's do a period piece of it, and makes it even better.
Yeah.
I like that. It's not the same humdrum, reskinned vampire movie you're going to get.
Yeah. It looks like Deep South, maybe Louisiana or something.
Yeah.
There's a very cool vibe to it. I wonder whether we're going to get a little bit more kind of voodoo.
That'd be so good. If you put that little element in there, be great. I remember seeing a bit of voodoo in a movie back in the day called Skeleton Key with Angelina Jolie in it.
Yep.
I loved that little bit because it was set in Louisiana. I love bringing that in. Bring some, I'd hate to use the word culture, but culture. Like, I love that sort of shit. It is so good and fascinating as shit.
That's what I liked about the first season of Cloak and Dagger.
Again, I didn't watch that at all.
It was an interesting adaptation of those characters.
Did it link into the MCU or no?
As far as I know, it was.
Yeah.
And the Runaways.
I watched The Runaways.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that. Like the real darker R-rated horror X-Men sort of movie.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Speaking of X-Men, we've spoke about the X-Men coming into Doomsday. Mm-hmm. Do you think this spells the end for the Fox X-Men? Do you think they're all going to meet their demise in this movie?
There's a very good chance, I think.
Yep. You think there'll be some torch passing? Or
yeah, it'll be a changing the guard, most likely. Whether we get some kind of schism and it goes back in time for them and then we get McAvoy and Fassbender turn up.
In saying that, if we did see the demise of the Fox X-Men, would you recast completely or would you actually use the McAvoy and Fassbender era?
I think they'd have to recast, start again.
I think so too.
It will be interesting to see how they go, whether they, even if they do recast Professor X and Magneto, or whether they go down the path of introducing completely new slate of X-Men.
Oh, yeah, okay. But could you have X-Men without Magneto and Professor Xavier?
Well, we've seen them plenty of times in the past. Everybody knows their story.
Yeah.
I think Marvel has been kind of leading towards changing up, bringing in some fresher faces.
Yep.
Like, I think they want to do this Young Avengers thing. I think they want to pass the torch to a new generation. I don't know whether that's going to be the best idea.
Well, I think the public or the people that are buying tickets are going to struggle with that a little bit. But again, there was a time when we didn't even have the MCU.
That's right.
So I know that we're the ones buying the tickets, we're the ones putting butts in seats and that, but there's always new fans coming through.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if they were to bring in some other X-Men kind of, not the main cast, but characters like Jamie Maddox, Multiple Man.
Yeah.
From the X Factor run.
Yep.
Strong guy. You could bring in some of those kind of second tier kind of teams.
X-Force.
X-Force, I would like to see that, but that would be, I think, a hard R rating.
It would look. You'd have to, and we've seen it. We've seen it works.
Whether that's what Disney wants to do, though.
Yeah.
I think their hand was forced with Daredevil.
Deadpool. Or Daredevil. Well, Daredevil's MA-15.
It's not a hard R, though, over in the States.
No.
Yeah, their hand was forced with Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's not many characters in the Marvel Universe that speak like Deadpool.
No. But there is plenty of them out there that could pull off an R-rated movie.
Yeah. There's some that don't need it. With Deadpool, it has to happen. With Wolverine, it should be.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing some of the New Mutants movie cast back again, like Magic.
Yeah.
She was cool. Sunspot. Was it Sunspot?
Sunspot.
Yeah.
That was the one where they were in an asylum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they that was actually quite graphic as well, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought it was a good show. Came and went. Maisie Williams out of Game of Thrones.
Yep, she played Wolfsbane.
Yeah, honestly, I enjoyed it.
I'm not against them bringing in other mutants.
Yeah.
There's that many to pick from.
So many, man. And that's the thing. With Doomsday, do you think they're going to that's going to be the X-Men versus our Avengers? Or do you think they're going to do the same thing that we always see? They come apart, and then they come together for the final battle.
I think Avengers versus X-Men is the obvious thing to do.
Yep.
Whether they don't do that because it's the obvious thing to do.
Dude, it's so fun to speculate about this shit because no doubt I know nothing about what's going to happen. And this is the deviation, I mean. Not knowing is exciting, but also speculating about it is also exciting, but also getting drip-fed little bits of information is also exciting. So they're getting me coming and going. Where were we?
We were talking about Sinners to begin with, and then we went on a tangent, as we do. Do you have any news? News-wise, no, we're pretty low on news because we only did this 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I had a couple of jokes for you.
I better move the mic away just in case I piss myself.
Did you know that diarrhea is hereditary? It runs in your genes.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that one after
I do. It's so good, dude. I love that shit.
A man was admitted to hospital today with 25 plastic horses up his arse. The doctors have described his condition as stable. See, I think we get a better reaction when I tell the jokes.
Fuck off. That was a good one. Oh.
I thought you'd like those.
Give me more.
No, that's all the jokes I got for them.
I'm going to have to get a dictionary of jokes.
I want to know what your favourite horror movie is.
My favourite horror movie. The most scared I've ever been in a movie was Strangers.
Yeah, because it's real.
Dude, that was a true story. And the fact that I've had someone when I was younger knock on my door at 3 a.m. and ask for somebody. Fucking real. And I'm like, wow. Dude, even to this day, it gives me shivers. But favourite horror movie? A couple of the blokes who my cousin works with, the Raka Raka Boys. Have you ever heard of the Raka Raka YouTube channel?
No.
They're a couple of twin brothers, Denny and Michael Philipper. They're from South Australia. So my cousin's actually designed a video game for him, and he was playing, just met up with them randomly on Twitch, playing video games, and he's like, I can help you out with some stuff for your Twitch channel. And then they just become mates. And so he's designing video games for them and characters for them for their videos and stuff. Shout out to Stoney, dude. And they've just released a horror movie a couple of years back called Talk to Me.
Yes, it's just come out on Netflix.
Dude, there's one scene in that where I've never, ever seen Rachel, stop the movie.
Yeah, right.
And it was so well done, all practical effects. And that, because that's what they do. They used to do a YouTube channel, man. Everything was done at home. And this scene is brutal. It's horrific. And I was taken away.
Yep.
So, and the other one was Hereditary.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I think that was an A24 movie as well.
I believe so. Fucking great movie.
Dude, great movie. Just that.
Yeah.
And it's just Tony Collette up in the rafters with a piano wire.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. That sound hollered and just so subtle. The music doesn't change. Nothing changes. But when it's panning through the yard in the house and you just see all these naked old people in the forest, dude.
That's
and
weird.
there's no sound to it. There's no shing. There's no nothing. It's just there.
Yeah. It's
Horrific.
one of the only few horror movies Steph's ever watched with me.
Yeah.
And that scene when Tony Collette's up in the top corner and we're just watching it and we're watching him walk through the room. I'm like, oh shit, there she is in the top corner. And even that delayed reaction, Steph saw it and shit herself.
Dude. Yeah,
it was
but yeah,
good.
I haven't watched Smile. I've heard that's pretty scary.
Yeah, I haven't watched
I
it.
don't know. A lot of the horror movies I watch are just like, whoa, like it's like that.
Yeah, you enjoy it.
Yeah, but those Talk to Me,
Yeah.
Hereditary, and Strangers had me doing this shit,
Yeah.
like watching through my fingers. What about you?
Oh, I'm a big fan of the Conjuring movies,
Yeah,
specifically the first two. That Devil Made Me Do It kind of it was okay,
agreed.
but that first one, seeing him haunted in that house,
Yes, sir.
through the fucking out of the dark, that was fucking good. Yeah, it was really well done.
Yeah,
Not kind of. I think it was a change where they'd gone from a lot of horror movies. They were really in your face.
yeah, dude.
You would see like whatever the entity was would be out in the open or whatever, and it was kind of subtle until you got that jump scare. It was kind of they were good jump scares.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those movies. The first season of The Haunting of Hill House.
Dude, that jump scare in the car is still my top 5 jump scares, bro.
Yeah, it was good. You go back and watch it, and the amount of times you see the ghosts in the background that
Again.
you didn't notice the first time around.
Again, so subtle. There's no ching, there's no jump scare to it. It's just there.
Yeah, like, oh, fuck, okay.
It's just there off in the corner.
Like, they build the tension so well that you don't need that jump scare. You just,
No.
all of a sudden, you see that person in the back, and you're like, oh, yeah, wow, okay, I didn't see them there a second ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Again, watching through this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Conjurings were my favourites, but that first season of Haunting of Hill House, so good.
Did you ever watch Sinister with Ethan Hawke?
No, I have not.
So him and his family moved to a house,
Mhm.
and in the attic he finds a whole heap of reel-to-reel video, home video. So he starts watching them, and it's a entity guides the children to killing the parents.
Yeah, right.
And he is noticing things that his kids are doing that these other kids did
that parallel those.
that paralleled,
Mm.
and it is fucking scary.
Yeah, okay.
It's good.
Mhm.
Recommend.
Recommend.
And the character design is sensational.
So is it more kind of like a tense thriller because he's just keeping an eye on his kids?
No, because he doesn't really watch his children. He's more, he gets so, I think he's an author, and he's
Right.
just so engrossed in these videos.
Yeah,
And
okay.
that's what,
Does his head in?
Yeah.
Okay.
but it's fucked up.
Right. The Fifth Kind. Was it The Fifth Kind?
The fourth kind,
The Fourth Kind.
Mila Jovovich again.
Yeah.
There was a couple of scenes in that had me going, oh. But again, the whole fan footage thing of it all,
Mhm.
it worked.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was probably a decade after Blair Witch, which
Mhm.
is still up there as one of my favourite horror movies of all time as well. It was weird, that Fourth Kind. It had some really good tense scenes, but then it would just kind of bored the shit out of you
Yes,
for a
dude.
good part of the movie as well. The scenes in it, it's not an owl, it's not an owl.
Yeah.
When it's not even, you're not even in that moment where they're building the tension of something being outside. It's their reaction to them remembering it. I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of.
I think the scariest parts of that were the home footage where they're in the bedroom and old love's bending backwards and elevating from the bed.
Yeah.
And then there's the other one where they're like it's the chick looking at the thing and then like a jaw just distends and goes massively long. I thought that was more it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a fun movie.
The little aliens walking in didn't really scare me.
No. What was that movie that I watched not long ago? It was an alien movie. I was really surprised by it. The movie No One Will Save You.
I haven't seen that, dude.
It's a weird one. What I wish I had known before I started watching it was there is no dialogue in it.
Look, so many movies coming out that are like that now.
Yeah, I got probably a third of the way into it. I'm like, okay, they're building tension or whatever, and this is before the aliens turn up or whatever. And she just doesn't talk to anyone. And then even when the aliens come, there's no communicating with anyone. Nobody in the town talks. And by the end of it, I was like, they didn't talk throughout that entire movie. It kind of drove me nuts. I think I would have been better if I'd known
that it was a dialogueless movie.
Yeah, that it just didn't have any dialogue in it to begin with. Because some of the aliens, they look pretty cool, like a lot of greys, but then taller ones. And then they had some really cool sound design for the aliens and them attacking and shit.
Yeah.
Which I think contrasted the fact that there was no dialogue. But man, you should put on the fucking cover that there's no dialogue in that movie.
I don't think I could do that.
Mm.
I don't think I could do that.
It was interesting. I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah.
It wasn't really scary. It was kind of cool. But
would you recommend it?
I would say it's worth a watch.
Yeah.
If you got plenty of time, you know what I mean? If you're starved for time, like I am, and don't get to watch that many movies, probably not.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for something to watch because you've watched plenty of stuff, give it a watch. It's different.
Oh, yeah, all right. Well, did you ever watch Hardcore Henry?
No.
Look, it had dialogue in it, but it was all shot from first person on a GoPro.
Yeah.
I had to watch that one in like 2 or 3 sittings because I just got I legit felt ill watching it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no dialogue really weirds me out. Even there was a dialogue in A Quiet Place, you know what I mean? They were using sign language and they were talking quietly.
Yeah, there was that story narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's been shunned.
Is she a non-believer?
No. Something happened in the past. Nobody in the town will talk to her. So she's going in. There might be some chatter in the background between background characters, but nobody talks to her. And therefore, she's a little bit mute, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go, but it's got to be after Full Metal Alchemist.
Get on that shit.
I'll get on it, promise. All right, I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you could have any comic book property made into a film or a franchise, what would you start with?
Yeah, okay. I think there's a series I read. There's an Image comic called Saga.
Right.
I think it's been described as kind of Star Wars meets Game of Thrones. It's a little bit political, but it's a space opera.
Okay.
It's based on these 2 characters that are from 2 warring factions, 2 different interspecies relationship, and they have a daughter, and they're just trying to get her away from this kind of battlefront and find a life for themselves in the universe. It's been a while since I read it. I think she's royalty. So basically the kid's a princess or something. But he's kind of like a fawn. He has like the ram horns, the long ears, kind of.
So it's a bit fantasy as well.
It's a bit fantasy, but in space, yeah.
Yeah,
and
right.
She's kind of like a pixie-like character. But it had some pretty cool visuals in it. I'd like to see that on the big screen.
Was that a book, comic book, or graphic novel?
Comic book.
Yeah, right.
It was a comic book run. I think the main arc kind of had complete, and then the latest editions they've brought out have been what they call seasons,
Right.
So they skip forward in time a bit and focus on a different character and continue the story on that way. But, yeah, it was a pretty good story.
Was it a long run?
I think it ran for a few years. It's been running for at least 10 years, but like on and off. So I think it had a hiatus there for a little bit, and then it came back with these seasons. So stories within that universe that didn't necessarily carry on that main arc.
Yeah, right. But just different characters from the same universe sort of thing.
Yeah, I think they're concentrating on the daughter grown up a bit now.
It sounds very Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah, I kind of get that. And kind of Valerian and the planet of
Yes.
the city of 1,000 planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of that similar idea.
That movie, Valerian.
Yep.
Did you enjoy that?
No.
I found the two characters that I wanted to pluck their eyes out.
Yeah, detestable.
So detestable, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know whether she is not a good actress, but I can't stand him.
Yeah,
He was great in the first movie he was in. It was called Chronicle.
Yes.
Him as the Green Goblin in Spider-Man. Dude, he was just. I hate the way he talks. I hate the way he looks. He's got one of the most punchable faces I've ever seen in my
very
life.
Sneaky looking little
Yeah,
dude.
he just looks sly as fuck. I really could have jumped on board with that movie if the two lead characters were actually likable.
Yeah.
Because the visuals were great.
They didn't even seem to have any chemistry either.
No.
Like, they could have been unlikable characters, but if they had the chemistry, it would have worked.
Yeah.
But they were no good by themselves. They were no good together.
Nope.
But everything looked sensational.
So good.
Yeah.
The story was actually okay. I think that was like 5 books wrapped into one.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been really good.
Very cool premise.
Very cool.
I enjoyed it. You said Jupiter Ascending. What did you think of that movie?
Look, I like the movie to sit there and just put it on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
The movie itself looked okay. I don't like Mila Kunis as an actress. She's great as the voice of Meg because she's got a punchable voice. I don't like her as an actress, and I like Channing Tatum, but having them both together wasn't my idea of a good time.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
I wanted to enjoy it because I like the Wachowskis.
Yep.
I like a lot of stuff that they've done.
I like The Matrix. That's about it.
They have a series and a movie on Netflix called Sense8.
Never watched it.
It is fucking sensational.
Yeah, right, okay.
As much as I like The Matrix, 2, 3, and 4 were shit.
Yes.
I would probably put Sense8 above The Matrix.
The Matrix or the 2, 3, and 4?
Well, The Matrix as a whole.
Right, okay.
Probably not against Matrix by itself. Matrix, the first movie, and the Animatrix, sensational.
Transcendent, dude.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I could watch The Matrix over and over and over again and never worry about having to watch the other ones at all.
The Matrix has, even now, and what are we, 25 years later, 26 years later, still revolutionary, man.
Oh, yeah.
That idea for that film was fucking incredible.
Fuck yeah. They have a very similar kind of, not similar idea, but the concept's really cool. I'd suggest anyone to watch it. It's a good ride. Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
It got 3 seasons. I believe it's three seasons.
Did they get to wrap it up?
It got canned, but people rallied behind and they made a movie to wrap it up. And the movie wasn't too bad. As long as you watch.
Very Firefly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is the movie called Sense8?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all on Netflix. It's a Netflix movie.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I'll suggest it to anybody to watch. And then a lot of people forget about it because it never pops up on Netflix these days unless you go looking for it.
All right, I'll have to have a look at that.
After Full Metal Alchemist.
Of course. I promise.
Okay, you asked me what comic book movie you'd like to see adapted. What would you like to see adapted? There's
a couple, but there's one that I desperately want to see, and that's The Darkness. Again, it has to be rated R.
Yep.
It was the first comic book. It's what got me into comics. So when I was an apprentice tattoo artist in Cessnock, we had just these little fucking hallway of a shop, and you go down a set of stairs, and under there, I used to go down there. I was bored, clean up, make inks, do all that sort of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was this little silver, like just a silver box, and I opened it up, and it was just full of comic books, but it was only The Darkness.
Yeah.
There was a couple of big graphic novels in there, and I read the first issue that was there, and it was the introduction to our character, Jackie Estacado, who's he's a mob family, and he's just come of age. And when you come of age, when you're in the Estacado bloodline, you get taken over by something called the Darkness. Now, the Darkness allows you to basically conjure all these little demons that they call the Darklings, and they do all this nasty shit, and they're not nice people.
Yep.
Very anti-hero, very violent. But the one image that ever stuck in my mind in that comic book, it's a one-page thing, and it's just a black and white silhouette, and it's like a sunset in the background.
Yep.
And it's like he's got his fingers in this guy's eyes, and he's pulling his skeleton out of his body. And it's just this big spray of blood skeleton, and his body's still there, wearing his glasses.
Oh yeah, that's very image, very early 2000s, late 90s kind of.
It was. They made a video game of it, and the video game was great. It was early console, Xbox. No, I'm pretty sure it was just Xbox and Xbox 360. Great game, great playability, and I really think it deserves a movie, man. Like, it's not you talk to people about comics all the time, and not many people know about The Darkness, but it's a story that I think would do so well.
Yeah, I would like to see an Image Universe movie.
Yeah.
The Darkness.
Well, we're getting a new Spawn.
Savage Dragon. Did you ever read that back in the day? Yeah, the big green dude. He's a police officer, has like a mohawk. That's like a frill.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Pretty cool.
You look at Witchblade, Lady Death.
Yeah, Pit.
The Pit, dude.
Yeah.
Great character. I've got it.
I remember my brother had a whole heap of trading cards when we were younger. Spawn, The Pit.
Yep.
Very cool artwork. That
So
kind
cool,
of
man.
Foil holographic cards.
Image Books had some like top tier illustrations, man.
Oh yeah,
so good.
Well, that was the thing with Image. They were all illustrators from Marvel, from DC.
Yep.
And they went out on their own, pretty much rock stars of their business. And they were writing, they were illustrating, they were colouring their own books, and they were doing it in like record time.
Yep.
Like trying to get books out on time. I think they were drinking and doing drugs and carrying on like frat boys at the time.
Yeah, it was the 80s and 90s, mate. It was sweet.
Who was it? It was Rob Liefeld.
Rob Liefeld.
Sorry.
Can't draw feet.
Yeah. Loves these pouches.
Yep.
Jim Lee.
Oh, dude, a god.
Yeah, and like he's still in the game today, doing great things. McFarlane, Todd McFarlane, of course, Spawn. Oh man,
I miss seeing his channel on Instagram. I followed him around, and just he sit there and say, "Oh, this is how we draw Spawn's cape, and this is why we designed Spawn's cape this way." And he's very, very, because he's a producer, and I think he might even be directing the next Spawn movie.
He's producing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was giving regular updates on it. And it was, they had to put a halt to it because Jamie Foxx was nearly dead. So they've halted it for a bit.
Yeah. One of the earliest kind of things that really stood out for me with comics back in the day, do you remember the Wizard catalogue that would come out?
Yeah.
There was a Wizard cover that had Spawn and Spider-Man on it, drawn by Todd McFarlane. And like the webs coming out from the pages and the chains and Spawn's cape. It was fucking sick, man.
Yeah, right.
I used to practice drawing that picture all the time. And some of his illustrations back in the day, Todd McFarlane, fucking sick.
Yeah. Spawn doesn't get enough credit, that movie. Michael Jai White nailed it.
Yeah. I love the movie, the soundtrack.
Soundtrack, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking epic.
Yeah.
like Silverchair, you had Korn, you had
Incubus,
Deftones, Incubus,
Metallica, yeah.
Butthole Surfers. So much good shit on it.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got John Leguizamo as Clown.
Yeah.
The Violator, not so much, but the Clown, perfect.
Yeah. The visual effects are woeful to look back on, but they were pushing.
Dude, of the chains, of
the cape.
Dude, that cape.
Yeah.
Could you not imagine how long that would have taken to animate? That just massive, massive, long flown red and black cape.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And you see John Leguizamo getting into that costume, and like he's always on his squatting down the whole movie, and he's just waddling around.
That would have sucked.
Yeah, it would have sucked hard, man.
Yeah.
But it was look, apart from when he goes to hell and there's all the other spawns down there and Satan's down there and that, it was good.
One of the things I like about Spawn is kind of like the Ghost Rider kind of whole thing is you do tend to see a lot of different variants from different time periods of Spawn. So like Ghost Rider, he showed up in the movie, but also in the comics a lot. Like there's the guy that rides the horse, cowboy style Ghost Rider. You got a very similar one of Spawn in that Victorian era, kind of like Van Helsing-esque type Spawn. There's always a lot of different variants. It's pretty cool.
They get called the mystical beep in the in movies and shit, and it's like just there's always a mystical guide that follows you around. But yeah, there's always someone that's been there before and shows you the ropes.
Very fun.
Even in Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, the movie, that scene where it's Carter Slade and it's Johnny Blaze. Johnny Blaze.
Come on, mate.
No, Johnny Cage. We're talking about Mortal Kombat. Johnny Blaze, and he's on his chopper, and Carter Slade's on the horse, and they're just dung. Just so good. It looks so good. And he's like, "Sorry, man, I was holding on to one more ride. And that was it."
Yeah,
it's badass.
Fuck yeah,
metal as fuck.
I would like to see the two versions of Ghost Rider show up in maybe Secret Wars.
Dude, I think that was a saving grace. It was a high point for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
The car was sexy as shit. His leathers were insane.
Yeah.
They kept that same skull that wasn't a realistic skull.
Yeah. Like the comics.
Yes, dude. I liked the grittiness of Nicolas Cage's second Ghost Rider. Just the way the smoke come off and trailed off and the flames and that. The visuals were so much better. Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to see them both.
And I would like to see John Barenthal as the cosmic Ghost Rider.
No.
Have you come across that in the comics?
No.
Oh, man. That's a fucking great little story there.
He's a Punisher.
Yeah.
Leave him as the Punisher.
So do you know the storyline between
No.
them? So it's in the future when Thanos has taken over. Thanos is king. Thanos rules.
Yep.
He keeps a pet Hulk. Like,
oh, shit. Yeah, right.
He's pretty badass. This fucking version of Thanos, he's like the last one left or whatever. Anyway, he keeps around a Ghost Rider because the penance stare gets him off. He likes the penance stare. And it's...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's actually Frank Castle, after he's died, gone to hell. He's pulled him back.
Let's
or he's
go.
come back, and he's the new Ghost Rider. But then he's also the kind of like the Silver Surfer for Thanos. He's cosmic.
He's his envoy
Ghost
sort
Rider.
of thing.
Yeah.
Oi, that sounds like a cracker story.
So he's getting around with like this big kind of, almost like a test tube shaped fucking helmet on for space, but it's just full of like a flaming ghost skull.
Yeah, right.
He's got the Punisher fucking skull on the front of him, and he's riding this big fucking, like, kind of looks like a motorbike, but it's a space bike type thing.
Fuck yes.
Even just to get a slight glimpse of that somewhere, like Easter egg, that'd be pretty cool.
I was actually watching something last night, and it was someone mentioning the original storyline for Thanos' snap.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh, in the comics, he was in love with death.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a falling out with death.
Mm-hmm.
She was a woman. He was in love with her. And to get back in her good graces and to gain favour, he said he would just start sending souls. And that was the reason behind the snap. And she goes, why wasn't that the story?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fucking badass, right? It's metal as fuck.
Yeah.
The whole resources thing, you run into plot holes. You're like, why don't you just create more resources? Why doesn't he just expand the universe? Why doesn't he just do this? But having the story where he's in love with death and he's sending souls, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Aubrey Plaza's death is so good.
Yeah. Well, I think they just missed out on kind of having that introduction of Death, the character. They didn't really want to kind of bring in these.
You don't want to bring in Thanos. You don't want to bring in Death. You don't want to bring in their love story.
Mm.
It's a big introduction.
But we're starting to get tastes of it. Like we've got Aubrey Plaza's death, and then at the end of that last woeful fucking Thor: Love and Thunder, they came up against Eternity, and then we're getting like
who?
Eternity.
Who the fuck's that?
One of the
that movie to me was so fucking forgettable, dude.
You know how in the Marvel comics they have all these personifications of different kind of not elements, but like death is one, eternity is one, the tribunal, the three-headed tribunal that was in Loki that turned out to be a robot. That was a kind of a nod towards that.
Right.
Just these entities that kind of
have always been there,
always been there, kind of run the universe basically.
Yep. Like the Watcher.
Like the Watcher, yeah, in the background.
Yeah.
They're just these things that make the universe tick. I think they were just those too big an aspect to be bringing in.
Yeah.
So the whole, the resources and the exponential growth of population of people, of beings in the universe kind of made a little bit more sense for the Avengers.
I think it was a bit more grounded as well. Like everybody knows that we're overpopulated and this sort of shit, that and the other.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like, I understand why they did it. I just think it would have been a bit more metal. Somebody
pointed out that in Endgame, when Cat walks in to see Natasha, and he talks about how he's seen whales again in the harbour.
Oh, yeah.
And then somebody showed the scene of them, the Atlanteans riding whales, and was like, oh, there's just that little connection because they ride it into the bridge into the city.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was just like a little nod. Somebody's like, oh, I wonder if, they're related or not.
Yeah. Oh, when Kukul Khan and that rode into the... Yes, right.
But slightly different times. But it was just like, oh, maybe, the Atlanteans were kind of checking out the surface a bit more now that half the population was gone.
Hey, that's a nice little nod. I like that.
Mm.
Are you excited to see Namor again? Did you like him in Black Panther 2?
Thoroughly enjoyed him.
Me too.
I preferred him to the comic book version.
I like the Aztec-y vibe of their armour.
They lent into that cultural feel.
Yeah, the whole Mayan sort of aspect of it all.
Very cool.
Really, really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And I love that he was just a man of his people, just wanted to protect and make sure they were okay.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Instead of the comic version, which seems to be like a womanizing asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the imagery of it. I love the armour. I didn't even run into an issue with his little wings on his feet.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I mean, he's a mutant, so weird shit happens.
I like the way that it was like he was skating on the air. It wasn't just his wings carrying him and shit.
Yeah.
Again, that was very, very Jupiter ascending.
Yeah, true.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it all comes back.
No, it doesn't. It shouldn't. Stop it.
I've got another question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, coming off the back of the last episode, we talked about Alien Romulus, how you'd watched it.
Yep.
One of the things about the Alien franchise is I've always loved that, in my opinion, Aliens is the better movie.
Not just your opinion. I think that's an actual fact.
It's always, I found interesting is there is usually the sequel is worse than the original.
90% of the time, yeah.
If I was to say what sequels are better than the originals, what kind of comes to your mind?
Well, would you like my top 5?
Sure.
Would you like top 2, 1?
Or top 5 if you can bring them to mind.
All right, so in no particular order, The Dark Knight.
Absolutely.
Second part of the Batman Begins.
Mm-hmm.
Blade Runner 2049.
Blade Runner 2049 is so much better than the first. While the first movie's a great movie, has a lot of great elements to it.
Yes.
It's still not a perfect movie.
No. Blade Runner 2049 isn't either.
I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but I think
Incredible.
It builds on that world.
Yeah.
I think it did it better.
Absolutely. I reckon that there should light a fire under the arse of Denis Villeneuve, the director. If he's going to be making two more Dune movies, this is another franchise that needs his touch. He killed it, dude.
Yeah.
So The Dark Knight, 2049, Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Animated.
Which is pretty crazy because that first one was fucking great.
I honestly, when they said there's a trilogy of these, I'm like, if the first one was that perfect, how are you going to top it? And they did. Nailed it. The animation style on that and the fact that even like Punk Spider-Man was on different frame rates than everybody else just because it's just touches like that, man. That you can't do in real life cinema where that works, and it should stay that way. That trilogy on its own, leave it. It's almost, if they stick the landing with a third one, perfect trilogy, man. And that's hard. That's not heard of. Aliens, of course, is Aliens on its own is a standout movie. As a sequel, it just dwarfs the first movie.
Yeah.
What do we got? One more. No, fuck Aliens off.
Okay.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Winter Soldier is the best Captain America movie. As much as I like Civil War.
Winter Soldier. Wow.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't a comic book movie, man, that is a great film.
Yeah.
It is sensational film. I'll put that up there with, that's easily in my top 5 Marvel movies. It's my top 5 movies ever. It's fucking great. And I don't think there was a weak part of it. Logan.
I was about to say, hang on, there's 3. That'd be the third one, but no, I can't. X-Men Origins
Wolverine.
as an X-Men movie, but then there was Wolverine or the Wolverine.
The Wolverine.
So that I'd call that the first.
Yeah.
And then Logan. Oh, yeah.
Mate.
Even just to get it on this list because it's a fucking great movie.
James Mangold absolutely killed that movie. It had emotion. It had action. It had story. It was everything. And just seeing how much he loved the Professor, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I think recasting Caliban, Stephen Merchant as Caliban, fucking killed it.
Yeah.
He was so good. Yeah. And getting introduced to Laura Kinney, who, again, is an unreal Wolverine in her own right.
Yeah. Feral little child.
Fucking brutality, man, when she just walks out holding old mate's head. I'm like, fuck, this is a comic book movie. And she's 12.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
That's a massive standout for me. Do you have a top 5?
I'll go top 5.
Okay.
So you put it on your list, but then you took it off. Aliens.
Yeah.
Obviously, I started this whole conversation with that. Sir. Aliens, it is a great movie. I love it. It's one of my top 3 movies of all time, I think.
I watch a YouTube channel called The Corridor Crew. I think I've mentioned it to you several times. But they did a deep dive on the Aliens. And they showed how they did the miniatures.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Very cool.
The way they use force perspective and were able to push things back, but still have detail and people walking around in the background that weren't real.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, Cameron over Ridley any day of the week for me.
Yeah.
Speaking about Cameron, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. He's better than the first one.
It is.
I fucking love that movie. It is Arnold Schwarzenegger's best movie.
Can you tell me what stroke an XR125 is? Or an XR80?
No, and I don't care.
Okay, it's a 4-stroke. Can you tell me how many gears it has? I'll give you a hint. It's not 31.
I'm quite happy to ignore that for that movie.
Do you know how much a Harley Davidson Fat Boy weighs? It's not a motocross bike. It can't jump off a 2-story building and survive.
Sure it can.
Cannot, especially with how much did he weigh? Was it 470 kilograms? No.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Listen, that's the magic of the movies. You can ignore physics sometimes.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I agree. T2 is better than T1.
And it's probably one of my top 3 movies of all time.
Tell me more.
Like it or not, that's what it's going to be. I'm going to go with 2049 as well.
Thank you, sir.
Like, as much as I like the grimy, the dark kind of feel of the original, I prefer that neon grit of the second one.
The second one was still gritty. You're right. Still gritty.
But it could be bright and poppy.
Like when they got the massive advertisements come up and the reflections of the pink, green, great.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And like Joe and Joy's relationship is one of my favourite parts of that movie.
Yep.
And she's not even real.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even real.
Yeah.
Still one of the most like human stories. I loved it. Yeah. Fantastic.
I'm going to have to agree with The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That Joker, man. Haunting.
And
I think it would have been haunting even if he didn't pass away afterwards.
His ability in that movie to just portray a true psychopath and not have any fear. No, he has no plans. He just wants to see shit burn.
Yeah.
You sit there and you talk about comic that has not even as a comic book movie, that is just cinema, dude. The fact that the dude's in a black rubber suit has no fucking bearing on that movie.
Yep.
That's a Joker movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he kills it. It's something that they're struggling to do in movies these days and find a compelling, say, villain that you're actually afraid of, that you would actually fear. Like Thanos, I just want to throw a Happy Meal at him and go, here, Grimace, fetch that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Seeing him and the way he just walks out of that hospital
and
he's dancing around and then he's just standing there waiting for it to blow up.
I love that shot. The pyrotechnics didn't go off on time.
And he didn't know.
He's like, you see him kind of react. And he stayed in character and then it went off and it made the scene better.
Dude, killed it.
Like, imagine if he just walked off and pressed the button and exploded.
That there is one of my most hated Hollywood tropes, dude.
Yeah.
The blow up, walk away. And he did it in Wolverine, or X-Men Origins Wolverine. He's just walking away from an explosion. Fuck off. Bullshit.
Yeah.
But the fact that, that there was perfect.
I think.
R.I.P.
Absolutely. And I think in number 5, I'd probably put Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
Such a good movie.
Guillermo del Toro.
I hate to use the word underrated because he's not underrated at all.
Yeah.
But he should be getting... When he was trying to make Hellboy 3, the studio shouldn't have even questioned that. They should have just said, how much do you need and when do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Him and Ron Perlman together in that franchise, incredible.
Yeah.
Why did you even hold that back?
No idea.
But then they've greenlit these other shit. The
David Harbour one?
The David Harbour one, he was good as Hellboy. The movie was shit. The last one they made was one of the most Z-grade garbage fucking Sharknado movies I've ever seen. It could have dead set been done by the Asylum.
Yeah.
It was just bad. Terrible.
The Golden Army. just stepped it up compared to the first one. The dark elves, that dark fantasy kind of imagery in it. Oh,
I even love the little story, like where they got the shadow puppets and that, and they're telling the story of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a beautiful movie, man.
Yeah,
so good.
The night market scene.
Yeah,
with the the troll at the beginning, and just the curios and weird creatures in that night market.
And it was all practical, like they were all puppets and not animations, but like animatronics.
Yeah.
People in costumes. It was just so well done.
Yeah. It had like a very kind of dark Studio Ghibli type feel.
Yeah.
Brought to life. And just you could reach out and touch that world just by looking at it. Yeah.
And there was another thing with the Hellboy, like it was Abe Sapien and Red were all practical.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were there, you could touch them.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, I know that Guillermo del Toro wanted to make a Abe Sapien movie and they wouldn't give him the rights for it. Again, why not? Give this man the rights. So he went and made another movie called The Shape of Water.
Mm-hmm.
Bestiality, yeah. But, dude.
Hey, he won awards for that movie.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah. It was fucking weird, but it was...
So weird. Why does she want to fuck a fish? But so good.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
And beautifully shot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he doesn't get... Pan's Labyrinth, fuck off.
Yeah. What was that something manor that he did with the Crimson Ghost?
Was
it Crimson Manor? Yeah, that looked fantastic. Wasn't the greatest story, but it looked great.
And Tom Hiddleston in it.
Yep.
It was guaranteed hit.
Yep.
Why does this bloke not get greenlit more shit?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Great director.
I would like to see him get the Universal monster movie thing off the ground.
Again, why does he need to try?
Yeah.
Just give him the money.
Yeah.
If you can't watch their movies and not come out of it and be changed in some way,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no. He's definitely an artist when it comes to making movies.
Yeah. Is that your list all done?
Yeah.
That was your 5.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't know. I think we might wrap it up there and
Sweet as.
see everybody again in another week.
And we'll talk about the movies and shows that Jeremy's told me to watch.
Yes.
But
we'll probably have 2 episodes of Daredevil to catch up on again.
But anyway, like I said, always ask some questions in the comments, guys. Tell us what you'd like to see, what you'd like to ask us. And we'll see you next time. Love, peace, chicken grease.